This is a Saturday Morning TVLog from Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Welcome to another Saturday Morning TVLog, and this time around it's the All-New Superfriends Hour, brought to us by Hanna-Barbera and DC Comics. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. I'm Doyle, the Big D to y'all, and this, of course, is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So today's Saturday Morning TVLog is the All-New Superfriends Hour. Now, this is also known as Super Friends 2, back after a 2-year absence after ABC had aired reruns of the original series from 1973. The show premiered on the exact same network in September of 1977. And of course, the second series to be based on the Justice League, produced by Hanna-Barbera. Anyway, now this time, this was even more bigger and better than its predecessor. After the popularity of the Wonder Woman TV series, along with the $6 Million Man and all that jazz, the popularity of those two shows spurred network interest in reviving the Super Friends program. When it was unveiled in '77, more young children and teenagers than before tuned in, making this a huge rating success for the network, and would later go on to put out even more shows in the next few years. Now, of course, this is a pretty good show. I have seen every episode of it, and I'll get to those in a moment. Now, of course, back with us, of course, are the main group of superheroes, just like what we saw in the original series, including the Man of Steel, Superman, the Amazon Princess, Wonder Woman, the dynamic duo Batman and Robin, and the King of the Seven Seas, Aquaman. Now, you don't see those particular kids in the Wonder Dog this time. This time, we have a new pair of members to the team, and they are shape-shifting super teens from another dimension called Exor, and henceforth they are better known to us as the Spacey Wonder Twins, Zan and Jaina, along with their zany blue space monkey Gleek, who of course provides the comic relief for the series. Each episode featured 45 animated shorts and 15 regular episodes per program. So henceforth, there were 15 episodes produced and aired, which contained various cartoons for a total of 60. Anyway, and it followed a basic format each week. The first segment of every show featured two of the actual heroes from the core group for the purposes of the team-ups in the first and fourth segments. Now, however, Batman and Robin were considered one hero, so they just put Batman in the title card for the episodes he appeared in. In the team-ups. Well, you'll know why when you see it. So, in a separate mini story. The second segment featured a story with the Spacey Wonder Twins, and the typical plot of each episode. Each segment of that is that teenagers engage in a specific discouraged activity like vandalism or hitchhiking, and the twins are summoned to deal with it. Inevitably, the misbehaving teenagers find themselves in danger as a consequence of their misbehavior, and the twins rescue them. The third segment was considered the primary adventure of the week, which featured the entire Super Friends roster, including the Wonder Twins, in a longer adventure. The fourth and final segment featured a story with one of the primary lineup, along with a special guest star, which included the Flash and the Green Lantern. Let's see who else, and the Atom, which of course recently had shows done by Filmation. Oh yeah, and Hawkman as well, who would be joined by Hawkgirl. However, there would be some new additions to the group, including Black Vulcan, Apache Chief, Rima the Jungle Girl, and Samurai. Now, various versions of certain characters from comics will appear, but in different ways. Like Black Manta, for example, he appears in an episode, but he's simply referred to as Manta, and his color is now an olive brown color. However, Black Manta would be the way he is in the following season's Challenge of the Super Friends, which will be featured in a later Saturday Morning TVLog, and Gentleman Ghost appears in an episode which was titled Ghost, but he's only referred to as Gentleman Jim Craig instead of Gentleman Ghost. So that's it. But anyway, now in addition, there were additional short spots between segments with members of the Super Friends giving basic safety lessons, basic health, and first aid advice, plus magic tricks, craft projects, which those were in two parts, which you'd see with the special, before and during the special guest segment, and a two-part reel which was featuring the week's primary plotline, which would be shown before and during the primary adventure. Now, all episodes, after they were shown, they were later cut into half-hour installments for local syndication in the early 1980s. Now, however, later on, they were shown on the USA Network in 1996 as part of the Superman-Batman adventures, and later on Cartoon Network and Boomerang. Unfortunately, here's where we have a bit of a problem with their segments. They unfortunately use the little shooting sparkling stars they use starting with the Challenge of the Super Friends instead of the zooming SF logo, the Shield logo. You know what I mean. However, soon, even after Boomerang had been airing the Superman Batman adventures, Boomerang would, however, air the show mostly restored with the segments that come in between, except for maybe the riddle segments and the next week's previews. Yes, because after the opening credits, we get our announcer that will show us what's to come on the show, and also after every single adventure or segment, they show what's to come and says, "Stay tuned," or "Coming up next." After the last little PSA's done, they will give us the next week's show's previews. They do that in 2004 and again in 2008. Let's see. Where earlier that same year in 2008, Warner Home Video released the first 7 episodes of the All-New Superfriends Hour on DVD, completely uncut, restored, and remastered, presented in their original unedited hour-long version and original broadcast presentation. But the episodes are not in their original air date order, just as they originally aired on the network. And then in January of the following year, the remaining 8 episodes followed. So anyway, I've seen all these episodes, and I really do love this. This is easily one of my favorite Super Friends shows. Well, I still like the original Super Friends, but this one is a little bit better and what have you for obvious reasons. Because I do like how they added the PSAs, the Spacey Wonder Twins, and guest superheroes that we would later see in later Super Friends series, such as Black Vulcan, who can, has lightning powers, Apache Chief, who can grow to a big giant by saying out the word Inekchuk, which, as the narrator says, the Apache word for big man. Let's see, and Samurai, who is, I think, is Japanese, the Japanese American one, who uses Japanese words for invisible and for the wind, which, from his torso we see his legs gone, but in a form, and then a cyclone appears. I think you know what that means if you've seen the show, of course. Anyway, we really did get some good stuff from the All-New Super Friends Hour, and I really love it. Anyway, our voice acting cast. Now, most of the voiceovers from the previous series return, including Norman Alden, who would voice Aquaman, but only for the second time. Of course, more recently, the previous year, he had played Frank on Cinema Croft's Electra Woman and Diana Girl, which had aired on the network the previous year. Let's see. Also, back is Danny Dark, once again voicing Superman. And of course, he was currently announcing Saturday morning shows on rival network CBS at the time. Wonder Woman is once again voiced by Shannon Farnan. And Olan Saleh once again voices Batman. And Casey Kasem once again voices Robin. Our narrator now is Bill Woodson, who would go on to be the announcer for the rest of the Super Friends run until the next to last series, which of course was Super Friends: The Legendary Superpower Show, because that was the last show he did narration for. There was no narration for the final Super Friends series, which was the Superpowers Team Galactic Guardians. Now, rest of voiceovers include Jack Angel, who does the voices for Hawkman and Samurai. Then there's Michael Bell, who voices Zan, as well as he does the vocal effects for Gleek. Bell would later go on to do voice acting for other shows such as Plastic Man and the original G.I. Joe and Darkwing Duck and several others. Voicing the Atom is Wally Burr. Let's see, and now Regis Kordick originally voiced Apache Chief first, and I'll get to that again in a moment. Shannon Farnan also voiced Rima, the Jungle Girl, and Hawk Girl as well. Let's see. Buster Jones does the voice for Black Vulcan. Let's see now. Barney Phillips voices The Flash. Michael Rye would be the later voice of Apache Chief, as well as Green Lantern. And finally, we have Liberty Williams. Well, her real name was Louise, who recently appeared in the underrated Disney animated, well, not animated, whoops, my mistake, live-action feature Gus the previous year as Jaina. Anyway, the show is still one of my main favorite Hanna-Barbera shows of the 70s, and I really do love it. It's one of the greats. It's got great characters just like before. I mean, with the additions of some new ones who we would see later on, and the Spacey Wonder Twins, the rest. Everything about the All-New Super Friends is good. I mean, the show is still available on physical media. I think it's still available for a reasonable price, so if you find it, check it out. If it's available on a streaming service, then check it out. I know it was last seen on the DC streaming service. I forgot what it was called. So I think it was DC Universe, but I may be wrong. But anyway, if you've seen or maybe watched the All-New Super Friends Hour, tell me what you thought about in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Okay, now if you liked this, you may want to check out some of these previous Saturday Morning TVLogs I've done of superheroes. In the upper left-hand corner is the Saturday Morning TVLog I did for Super Friends, the original from 1973. The upper right-hand corner is the Saturday Morning TVLog I did for the Plastic Man Comedy Adventure Show, which is a lot of fun. Or if you want to just, take a pause from DC, go to the bottom left-hand corner for a little Marvel action for my Saturday Morning TVLog from last week on Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends from 1981. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., as well as the Saturday Morning TVLogs, then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching, and next week's Saturday Morning TVLog is The Herculoids. So until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.